Hello ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolescence and welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And in this video, I wanted to do a quick fragrance review on a fragrance that I had in my collection now for, man, it must have been over 10 years. And this fragrance is by the company Animale and it's called Animale. Or I think that's what the company is called. There really isn't much information on this bottle. Let's see what it says. Nope, nothing. Okay, so here's the bottle. It has Zeus's lightning bolt here on the front. I couldn't get a perfumer for this one, but it came out in 1993. Now with this particular fragrance, I was looking online and I saw that people were making some really weird descriptions about its smell. And that's not what intrigued me initially. I have a cousin who lives in Greece who loves this particular fragrance. And every time we would visit him, we'd go to Greece every 3 years or so. My mother would buy him a bottle of this. Another pro to it is that it's so cheap, right? So I thought to myself, let me buy myself a bottle. And then I remember people online were making comparisons between a fragrance from this company and Thierry Mugler's Angel Men Pure Malt. So I thought to myself, let me see if it's worth picking up. Little did I know, it turns out that the one that smells like pure malt is actually Animale, not the original Animale. Nonetheless, this is classified as an Oriental spicy, and let's go ahead and start off the review by taking a look at the presentation. So here's the presentation for Animale for men. You have the Thunderbolt here. You have this almost glittery appearance here in the front. On the bottom is where you'll find a sticker with your serial number. Nothing going on at the back, but it is clear so you can see how much juice you have left. Pretty big cap. It does click into place very securely. You can pick this one up from the cap, no problem there. Nice little green neck on it here. And then the distribution on this one is actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. And that was the presentation for Animale for men. Now, when I first sprayed this on, I picked up on the association that people were making online on websites like Fragrantica and Base Notes. People are saying that this smells like a new shoe store or a shoe store or whatever. It smells like a new pair of shoes, and I get it, right? There's almost like this leathery component to it. It's very hard to describe, but I think something about that makes this fragrance quite interesting. The only downfall is that in my mind, it's sort of become like a novelty scent. The bottom line is you want to make sure you really like the smell. And this contains the dreaded note of juniper. Those of you who follow my channel know that I am not a fan of the note of juniper. It has quite an astringent smell. There are some fragrances that do it really well, and they do it justice. I'm thinking of fragrances like Original Santal by Creed. And there are quite a few designers that implement it as well. This fragrance in particular, you have the juniper, you have some fresh notes that don't really add much freshness to the fragrance. There's bergamot, there's neroli. Neroli is actually voted to be the freshest or the most concentrated ingredient in this smell. Don't really get it. And it smells exactly the same as it smelled a few years ago when I purchased it as well. I guess it's a combination of the juniper, maybe some woodsy notes in there. It does smell quite synthetic. And by synthetic, I don't mean that, well, I do mean it in a negative way, but I don't mean to imply that if something smells synthetic, it's going to smell bad, right? By synthetic, I mean it smells chemically. It has that bologna cologne sort of smell, as it's been coined in the community. But with this fragrance, it's something that doesn't cater to my personal taste. It has a leathery nuance. There's also the note of vetiver in the base, but I guess it's a combination of the juniper and the lavender that really seems to turn me off. Overall, I think it's a great scent if you're looking for something new, if you're just delving into the fragrance industry or the community and you want to purchase a fragrance at minimum dollar, then this one is worth checking out. But if you're looking for something that's a little more pristine, a little more prestigious, something a little higher end, and something that will give you more bang for your buck, you can probably skip over this one. This one's a pass. Let's go ahead and finish things off by taking a look at the rating. First up, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall smell, and this fragrance gets compared to a lot of different fragrances online. It gets compared to one by Ralph Lauren. I personally made a comparison between this and Calvin Klein's Eternity. So with all the comparisons, it's not a very unique scent. As a matter of fact, it doesn't really have any sort of defining characteristic that makes it stand out, that makes you feel like, when I get home, I want to spray this fragrance on today. It doesn't really possess any of that. As far as longevity, it's okay. It's in the 4 to 5 hour mark. It is an eau de toilette concentration. I bet you older formulations of this lasted much, much longer. This one, unfortunately, which I purchased about 4 years back, it doesn't really do anything great. Projection on this one is okay. It is okay, despite the fact that you don't really pick up on any of those citrus notes, which would have seemingly given it a bit more of a projection because citrus notes are a little more volatile. But with this fragrance in particular, maybe for like a half hour to an hour, it really jumps up off your skin, radiates within an arm's length, and then it starts to sit really close to the skin up until about the 3 to 4 hour mark, which makes you want to reapply. Or maybe it doesn't. Next up, we have versatility, and it's pretty versatile because of the price point. Because it's so inexpensive, you can wear it casually. I would say that the juniper and the lavender really make this one good for a suit and tie, maybe a shirt and tie. Suit and tie, if you're, getting married or something like that, you probably want to reach for something with a little more dimension, a little more character, something that's a little more complex. With this fragrance, there is a simplicity to it that I just don't seem to like. It doesn't vibe really well with me. I think anybody of any age can wear this. It does lean masculine, but fragrance has no gender, so that's just a recommendation. Take it with a grain of salt. And then lastly, presentation. I guess it's kind of cool. The box is really simple cardboard, simple construction. I bought a tester, but I have seen pictures of it online. If I were to give this fragrance an overall score, I would give it a 2 out of 5. I give it a 2 out of 5 because it's not a bad scent. Like, if somebody were wearing it in front of me, I wouldn't say, man, you smell terrible today. I would say, you smell decent. It smells like you're wearing a cologne. Do you smell memorable to me? Probably not. This fragrance doesn't cater to my personal taste, but I can see why it's on the market, and there is a certain clientele that it would speak to. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Animale for men. If you own or have tried this scent, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos, top 10s, reviews, giveaways, unboxings, and a lot of other fragrance-related content. Remember, I smell well, so you can smell good, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.